Good morning, everybody. Marcia from Be So Creative, and today we are fixing to start putting our snowman applique design together. So there's just a few things that I want to talk about before we get started. One of the things that, in my opinion, I think everybody who does a lot of applique must have in their, what do I want to say, applique toolkit is this. This is the applique pressing sheet. They come in different sizes. Here at the store, we have the 13 by 17. The reason that I think everybody needs one of these is because you're actually able to put layers together, iron them, let them cool, and then put your whole design together all at once and put it onto your fabric. I'm going to show you how to use this. If you don't have one, that is okay. But if you love applique as much as I love applique, I use this thing pretty much every time I do any kind of applique. So I wanted to tell you a little bit about this. The other thing that I think that everybody needs is one of these little boards. And the thing that's nice about the design board is the fact that you are able to pin into them. So if I wanted to lay my whole block out on this piece of design board, then I could do that and start picking it up and laying it onto my background. The other thing that I like about this is it does have a like batting on it. And so if I am just using pieces or I've got a block that I'm designing, the really nice thing about using something like this is the fact that it just lays on there and it sticks. And so you are not having to hunt up pieces. One other thing that I do like to use, especially when I'm working with all the little pieces that we have here on our snowman, because we got some little pieces on here, is these are just kids pencil boxes. I got this one at Staples. They're pretty much everywhere right now because kids are going back to school. The thing that I like about this allows me to get all my pieces ready. They're all cut out and they are safe and sound in my little box. Now, you may say, well, why don't you put them on the board? You could put them on the board, but here's the thing. A lot of the stuff that I do for the store, I do it at home. And so it goes back and forth with me. And I will tell you, on occasion, I have actually dropped my little board or whatever, and pieces get lost. So when I get my stuff cut and ready to go, they go in a box. The nice thing is the lid clicks down. So I love that. Click, and they're safe until I'm ready to put them out. So just some suggestions for you. Uh, I don't want you getting everything ready to go and then the cat comes in and walks across your table and whoof, little pieces fly all over and you're going, I know I cut that out. This way they're safe and you know, I'm just trying to make sure you've got it together. All right, so this is what we're going to do. One of the first things when you are working with any kind of applique design is you need to actually take a moment and look at the design itself. Because with applique, there are pieces and parts that are actually behind the main design of your project. So when I'm looking here at my little snowman, I see that the fence is pretty much in the background of all these pieces. Don't you all see that? And when I look at my fence, I have to be really focused on the fact that the posts of the fence are actually behind the crossboards that make up our fence. So when I am starting to put things together, I know that my first piece or pieces that need to go down are my fence posts and then my fence. When I look at my snow, I want you to notice that your posts are actually behind the snow. So we're not going to put him first. He's probably going to be the next guy that goes. Then we see our tree. Now our tree, look, here he is. He actually comes over our snow and he comes over our fence. And then last but not least, our little snowman sits on this edge of the fence, okay? And he's layered together. So when we look at this, the hat, the brim is under the hat. The nose is on the under the above the face. The scarf is under his head. The little dangly part of your scarf is under the round part, and then you build your snowman. So when you look at your design, I don't care what design it is, please, please, please make sure that you look and see where all the pieces and parts fit together and layer them on there as they go. So the background stuff needs to go in the background, and then you build out from there. Okay, so what we're going to do is this. I'm going to get my little background piece. So here he is, and he is beautiful. I'm going to just lay this here so we can refer to it. And what we're going to do is we're going to pull out all the pieces that are for the fence. And if you remember, guys, I label all of my stuff. And the reason that I do that is because if you just look at that, you have absolutely no idea where they're going to wind up going, right? So we want to make sure that we've got all of these pieces out for our fence. So there they all are. Okay. So the first thing I'm fixing to do is I am going to use my piece of snow. And the reason I'm going to do that is I'm going to lay it on here. I am not going to put it down. I'm laying it on here so that I can place my fence pieces. So, okay, here's my left post. Here is, let's see, where's my, do we see my right post? There's my center post, and he's kind of covered up by the snowman. There's my right post. So when I look here, so this is mid right, bottom left, mid left, bottom right. See it makes it easier, guys. And you know, we got enough stuff that's hard in our life. We might as well make our applique as easy as possible because it just makes it a lot more fun. Okay. All right. So what we're going to do is here is my snow, and I've put him down, but I'm not ironing him down yet. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to start, okay, top, bottom, bottom right, bottom left. Let's see, mid right. There we go. There we go. Now we're lined up here. Okay, so here we go. This says on here the left post. So what you want to do is you want to get this, and Marco, let's get a close-up of this so they can see. All right, whoa, whoa. There we go. So all you need to do is with your fingernail, pinch your paper. And did you, looky here, that just peeled that right away. Super easy. So what we're going to do is we're going to peel this away. And I want to show you all, do you see the shiny that is on there? Yeah, see how it's shiny? That tells me that my heat and bond has adhered nicely to my fabric. So looking at my little snowman, so let me get him over here. And those of you who got your pattern off of our website, I want to remind you that that is not for you to build on. That is for reference only. So please remember that. All right, so here's my fence post. And then we have our center. This is the top. So let me pinch that. And we're going to lay that on here. Now I'm going to tell you, I'll try and kind of line them all up so that they at least look like they all belong together. Let me say that. And here's the bottom, and he's going to go under there. And so here's the thing, and this is truly how I am, so y'all just have to, you know, understand. Normally, I would have a ruler, and I would make sure that my lines were straight because that's just kind of how I am. So, and I bet you that a ruler will magically appear here in just a second. So, all right, so now I've got my fence posts in there and that's looking pretty good. Be sure, like I said, and use your uh, papered pattern that we have given you. Make sure and use that as a reference so you can kind of see how far away the fence post is from the edge of your fabric. So, all right. Oh, and look, that ruler just magically appeared. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay this down here because the thing that unless the uh, unless the fence posts are going up a pretty steep incline, which we do not have here, this makes sure that that they stay even, and I think that that's kind of important. There we go. All right. Now, and see, the other thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to just take my ruler and I'm lining that up and look look at there. That is just straight right on the money. We like that because um, this is a modern farm and the farmer has definitely taken good care of his fences. All right, there we go. So now what we're going to do is this. You peel the paper off of every one of these as you go work through them. The reason that you do that is if you forget, well, guess what happens? You go in there and you're ironing, and it's not sticking. And the next thing you know, you have to make a whole new piece. All right, so here we go. Now we're going to do the top right. So we're going to give him a pinch. I think I said that wrong, didn't I? Okay, there's one. Well, okay, the bottom left. See, I see you guys can tell I reversed that, can't you? Because it should be, this should be the left. And the reason that I say that is I do want you all to notice that these pieces are longer, and so we need to make sure that they are on this side. So, sorry about that, folks. I guess this is when I can say do as I say and not as I do. Well, am I allowed to say it that way? Okay, there we go. So now I want you all to remember that 1/4 of an inch is going to be all the way around here because that is where your binding will go when you get ready to do this. Now, I'm going to take my little chubby snowman bottom and I'm just going to test and I'm going to lay him on here like so. I want him to be over a little more. The reason that I'm testing this is I want to make sure that my pieces are going to hide those little ends. So if you need to make an adjustment, just make an adjustment. It's no big deal. And I think I'm going to make him. And I'm just going to give you all a little hint. If you don't use all the pieces, don't worry about it. It's not this is not set in stone. So see right now that post is not showing. Do you all see that here? He's not showing. On this one, he's showing quite a bit. So again, no worries, just make the adjustment that you need to make. If you want to, you could actually move your snow up so that he will not be in that 1/4 of an inch. And I think that's what I'm fixing to do. So then that way I will be able to see all my pieces. There we go. There we go. All right. Now, he's hiding this guy, and I think I'm okay with that. So here's our top left. Now remember, this is a board fence. So most of the time, I've never met anybody who's making a fence that you know what, guys, he's coming out of here. We're not going to end up using him. A board fence is normally straight, right? So this is what we're going to do. We want to make sure that this board is in line. With this guy. And again, if you need to get out your ruler and just line him up there, then that is okay to do. There he is. All right, he's looking good. I'm going to slide him up just a little. Want a little bit more of him to show. Notice how our ends, remember how I had you guys do the ends so that they would actually be under. Remember we did those little tick marks, as you guys can see. We still have one there. Okay, here we go. I don't know if this is very exciting for y'all to watch, but you know, we've got to make sure we got it on here. Okay, so I'm looking at that and I go, yeah, that looks pretty darn good. So guess what we're doing? We're going to remove the snowman bottom and we're going to remove our snow. Straighten him up a hair. I think they look great. So this is where the fun comes in. All right, so we're just going to lay this on here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going to come over here and we're going to do the same thing. Just count to 6. 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. And then we're just going to let those guys cool. He needs a little bit more right there. So before you move anything, be sure and look at it and make sure that it has been stuck down there. Well, I didn't leave it on there long enough. All right, there we go. Now, let's look at our little snowman here. What's going to be the next thing? Well, we know the tree comes over the big snow. And we have our little snowman here. So what we're going to do is this. I think we're going to put on our big piece of snow. So now I want to let you all know I did make my snow bigger than my piece. And we know I've got it on there because look at that shininess. Nice and shiny. So we're going to put this, and if you will remember, I moved him up a tad, remember? I moved him up a little bit. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to move him over. Our little snowman, everything is really nice right there. Okay. Now, I really have no desire to adhere that edge of my snow to my wool mat. That would make me sad. So we're going to cut that off. All right, then here we go. We're just going to, again, count. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3. Okay, counting to 6. There we go. All right, so now we're just going to let these guys cool. All right, so what we're going to put together next is our little snowman. So I'm going to slide him off, and I'm going to show you the joys of an applique pressing sheet. Okay, so right now we're going to start building our snowman. And I want to move him all in one piece. But before we do that, I want to check one thing here. I may go ahead and put him actually down. And then we can build the rest of the snowman on our pressing sheet. So I think that is what I am going to do. Okay, he's right there. I think that'll work. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to put him down. So let's do that again. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Now let's put the rest of him together over here. All right, so we're just going to use that paper as a marker. Here's his middle. Maybe if I get it off of here. There we go. There's the middle, and we're just going to put just a little bit over there. Remember, he's on top of the ball there. We're going to get the head up there. Here's his scarf. Guys, again, I'm sorry that you're having to watch this because this is kind of like drying paint, but I want to make sure that you know how to layer our little guy together, because I do know that some of you are joining me for this. All right, then his little head goes right there. We're going to put the hat together by itself first. So here is the brim. Here is the top hat. He's going to sit in there like that. And last but not least, here is his really bright, happy little band that is on his top hat. Here's his nose. On this one, I actually do 2 scarf pieces, so, you know, if you want another scarf piece, just go ahead and draw it off. And I'm probably going to wind up putting some buttons on him, so I want to make sure that they are where I can. And then last but not least, his cute little arms. And I wanted his arms to come out of the side of him. Okay. Oh, I think I got it backwards. Yeah. Okay. And again, just make sure that when you put his arms on that they look like they're coming out about the same spot. Okay, so there he is. He's all together. Everything is just covering the little pieces. Let's do a little movement here. Okay, so here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, now this sheet gets really hot, so what you have to do is you have to let this cool. If you do not have an applique pressing sheet, then you're actually going to build all of this onto your background piece. Okay, so I'm trying to give you all different techniques, and so one of the best techniques that I have is the applique pressing sheet, and that is why I decided to show it to you all, because it really does help with your applique. So that's why I'm showing it. And a lot of people go, well, I have that, but I don't know what to do with it. Well, here you go. I'm giving you some good tips on how to use your applique pressing sheet. Okay, so let me grab a trash can and get rid of all that paper. Okay, so now the hat has cooled. So look, this is what is so cool about this. All right, so you all saw that I put this all together, right? So now that it's cooled, it pulls up in one easy piece. So now I have the complete hat. Isn't that great? So the thing is, this is why I like using the applique pressing sheet. I can form pieces together instead of having to be fussy on top of my fabric. All right, so our little snowman. So what we're going to do is all you have to do is just take this and it just folds back just like so. And you want to be gentle when you pull this off. So it's all one piece. And I will tell you, I really do try and help it just to make sure everybody stays together. Okay, so see, there we go. So I'm actually taking him all one section. I'm going to put him on his little bottom piece there. Okay, here's his little hat. And you can give him as much swagger as you want. This is your snowman. Just remember that however you're going to put eyes on, if you're going to use French knots, if you're going to use little tiny buttons, make sure that you leave enough space in there so that you can put whatever you decide for his eyes, how to do that, okay? All right, let me move this. Let's put him back over here on the pressing sheet because I do not want to iron on top of my table. I don't think that would work very good. All right. I'm liking him. All right, so here we go. So see, now he's all one piece. I'm not worried about anything shifting when I lay the iron on here. So here we go. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so there's our snowman. He is down. We are excited. And last but not least, we have our little tree. Now, anytime you guys, I'm going to show you, sometimes you get like little fuzzies off of the edges. So go ahead and trim those off before you put them down because when you're stitching these down, they may not stay where you want them. Okay, get this pulled off of here. And anytime you're working with something like this, kind of pull from the edge out to the skinny edges. All right, here we go. Here's our tree. Look how cute he looks. Oh my gosh. I love this. Now, here's the deal. Now you get to decide how much of the tree is actually on the snow. So if you would prefer him to be like this and have a lot of him on the snow, go for it. This is now, you get to be the creative person and put this where you want it. I just want that little tip to be on the white. Okay, there we go. So I have peeled my paper off of my tree. And last but not least, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. And there we have it. So now my little snowman and its tree is all adhered to our background fabric. Whoop, whoop. Didn't we do a good job? So here's the deal. This is all we're going to do this week. Next week, I'm going to show you some different stitching options that you will have. Whether you want to do a tiny zigzag or a blanket stitch or whatever, please watch next Wednesday for our Wednesday workshop, 10 o'clock. And I hope you all have gotten the pattern and you're starting to work. If you have any questions, please remember I'm here to help you, so you can give us a call here at the store. And thanks for joining me, guys. We will see you next week when we put our snowman all together onto the fabric. Whoop, whoop. Have a good one.